G'day folks, welcome back to the channel for episode number 26 of our Aether Pets Ritualist. Where last episode I replaced some jewelry and stripped off a whole bunch of components and augments, and then couldn't remember which augments I was supposed to be using. So I've gone and checked all that sort of stuff out, and at level 65 you get access to one set of augments that are good for pets, and you'll be using those all the way to 90. Now, the two sets of augments that are good for pets are the Rifthound salts here, which you can get from Devil's Crossing, which give a little bit of chaos and a lot of elemental. And the other one you can get is from the Malmoth Resistance and requires Honored from them, which I don't currently have, so I can't buy them. And that one is the Mender's Powder, which gives 10% health, 20% Aether resistance, and 20% Chaos resistance. Now, if you use 3 of those, your Aether and Chaos resist for your pets is sorted. It's done, it's finished, you never need to look at it again. But what I would ideally be using is 2 of these and 1 Mender's Powder, because then I would have capped Aether resist for my pets and 70 something percent chaos resist. As I said, I don't have Honored with the Malmo resistance just yet, so I'm going to use 3 of those to give 45% LE res, which caps my pet's elemental resistance. Chaos is up here at 65 and Aether's at 63. Poison and Acid, there is a Poison and Acid resistance augment. It is, I think, a level 91 though. Let me just double check that. Yeah, Era's Venom Tongue is the one I'm looking at. No, it's not, sorry. That is Pet Damage. It's right at the bottom. There it is, Silvaria's Essence, which is Coven of Ugnambog and requires Revered, I believe. Regardless, for right now, the Rifthound salts are good. They provide total speed, chaos res, and elemental res. Vitality is not a big deal for our pets. Bleeding and Pierce are considered the hardest ones to get, but they're also, in my opinion, the least important, because there's not a lot of things that do a ton of Pierce or bleeding resistance in terms of pulls on the floor. But regardless, I found the augments I was after. All of our resistances are capped. Our pets are pretty good against elemental and decent for everything else, so let's move on. We are heading into Fort Ikon today, where we will be killing the Commander Lucius, the commander of the garrison, and we'll be collecting some supplies. Inside the fort itself, there is also guaranteed dynamite. I think that's the extent of the things in here that I actually care about. 2 quests, guaranteed dynamite. Pretty sure that's it. So I always go this way. There's a couple different ways you can go through here, but I always go the back way, as it were, through this little section that's been dug out over here. So this little section is kind of behind the walls of the fort. Come down here and get the guaranteed dynamite, which is nice. And we also get, just here, the supplies that we were sent to get by the Legion. As I mentioned in normal when we did this quest, you can either decide to turn those over to the Legion, in which case you will get Black Legion reputation and minus Homestead reputation, or you can choose to give them to Homestead, in which case you get Homestead reputation and minus Black Legion. Now, for me this is a bit of a no-brainer. Homestead is already approaching Revered, and the Black Legion is not. It's considerably lower. These guys are much harder to get Revered with, and they also have much more stuff that I actually want. So for me, I will be giving these to Black Legion every single time, just because of the reputation being harder to get and worth more, in my opinion. So we'll continue making our way through here. I don't believe there's any totems that can spawn in the armory here, but if there is, I'll do them, and otherwise we're just making our way to Commander Lucius, who will most likely die before he does anything particularly dangerous. With Commander Lucius, if you are not at 100%, or not 100%, but if you're not capped on your Aether resistances, and he does his meteor thing and it hits you, you are dead. That attack does a ton of damage. So for him, you really want maxed out Aether resistances. He may do some other damage, but the Aether meteors are the one you have to watch out for. So let's go get him. I'm going to pop all the buffs, have all of the debuffs active. I'm going to shred his resistances. Will he actually get to do the meteor attack? No. We do way too much damage, which is a good problem to have. His meteors, he'll shotgun an area like this. If you are standing in the middle of the area he targets, and usually you will be, it is potentially possible that every single one of those meteors hits you, and that generally will just delete your character. If you're playing on hardcore, that means you're dead. So always be ready for that. Be ready to move or teleport. If you don't have the teleport, go to Forgotten Gods, buy it from the Dreeg faction representative and put it on your medal. It's a really good mobility skill. Okay, we lost no skeletons and no pets for that fight too, so doing good. Alright, what do we got? Speak to Creed, recover supplies. Let's just go back and talk to these guys. I think we're kind of probably getting to the point where I don't really want mages anymore too. Let's see here. Pets. Does it show pet damage there? No. Where is the pet damage? Is it on there? It is. 417% pet damage. It's going to be a lot more with all the buffs active. I guess the mages are alright. Okay, so we're heading to the Necropolis. A bunch of reputation. This quest is for the supplies. As you can see, scrap, a bag I can't use, and plus Black Legion and minus Homestead. So if you had instead gone to Homestead and given it to them, decent chance you might even get to Revered, but you would lose reputation with the Black Legion, which for me is not a good deal, as I explained previously. Don't want those, don't want that. Okay, you can just have all this stuff. You can have that as well. Okay. Let's go. This is the quest to talk to the Outcast. We're going to leave that alone. I can't remember if the first one will cost you Black Legion rep for not killing her, but I'm just not going to bother. As you can see, she's already halfway, well, almost halfway. Let's say a quarter of the way through Honored towards Revered, and we just talked to her once, said, no, I'm not going to kill you, and then walked away. And all of that reputation has come from killing Ethereals and Chthonians. And we're about to get a bunch more of it here too. How's our Rovers rep doing? Rovers are Honored. So we do have access to their Honored quest, which would be basically a devotion shrine and a bunch of reputation. I'm not too worried about doing their quest right now. Again, Rover's reputation we're going to pick up in Ultimate. Not a huge deal. I'm going to run through here. When you get to, I think it's only in Ultimate, but when you're doing this in Ultimate, just beware that there is a boss out here that does a ton of damage is ridiculously fast. And so your options are basically kill it or die. And I can't remember right off the top of my head what that mob's name is, so let's go look it up. Let me see here. Okay, Fort Ikon out here, and it is not shown on the map. Lovely. Either way, in Ultimate, hug the left side. Or be playing a build that can actually kill it. Trying to think what the name is, coming up blank. I'm sure somebody will correct me or inform me in the comments below. Lost a few pets to stuff on the ground. Maybe it is it an elite? But it shows up? I don't remember. Anyway, there's a few places it can spawn. They're all on the right side here, so just don't come over here and you'll be fine. So heading north through here, there's a few Chaos Rifts that you can go into if you so desire. They are kind of designed for the Rover's Honored quest that I'm not doing at present. I may do it later, but for now I just don't care about Rover's Rep. It's something I'll worry about later. If we get through all of the ultimate quests and we're still not revered with a faction, then I'll worry about going and doing extra quests for them. It is definitely a good way to get rep with them, but I don't think we need it yet. Okay, so we're into the Necropolis. Already got this book here, or did I? I did not already have that book, so there you go. In this particular section, there is nothing I care about. We're just trying to get through here. There is potentially totems, which are fun. But there's not a huge amount of stuff in here that I actually care about. Head over to where the other totem spawn is. Let's see if we can do that. It's not looking good. I think we'd see it on the map by now if it was there. Give me that scrap. Give me that scrap. We lost 2 skeletons. So, as I was saying earlier in the game, once you get a decent amount of pet resistances, you kind of really don't lose pets except for bosses. And if you're complaining that you have to resummon your skeletons for bosses, go play a Conjurer and make them tanky, so you never have to resummon them. The way I see it, if you're playing a non-pet character, you have to cast spells, you have to use attacks. This is just, our spell is summon skeletons. That's all it is. You gotta summon your temporary pets anyway, so it's not like it's a huge deal. Alright, looks like we lucked out on the totem there. Looks like it is up here instead. But yes, if you want a pet build that just has pets that don't die, then make yourself a Conjurer. Take all the tank options and walk through the game very slowly because your damage will be basically 0. Alright, we did just hit 72. So I'm going to put points into Primal Bond. It's 1% per point. Yeah. At some point you stop getting 1% damage absorption per point. I think that's at the soft cap of 12 out of 12. We'll see how it goes. I'll keep an eye on it and probably stop at the soft cap. Right, let's kill this. All the buffs up. These guys should be melting pretty quickly. Similar to our pets. Okay, that would be the 2 set if I hadn't already sold the ring or amulet, whichever one it was I got. Which would mean, if I had kept it, would this be worth using? We would lose 1% chaos resist on the pets, not a big deal. Gain 1% offensive ability, not a big deal. 8% attack speed is nice. We would lose +2 to raise skeletons, +2 to Call of the Grove, but we would gain +2 to summon Briarthorn and +2 to Emboldening Presence. Honestly, for the 2 set, it's not awful, but it's not... I don't think it's actually a good trade. And I think because it uses a weapon, we can't use the full set anyway, so we would just lose too much. Right, I gotta stop doing that. As I said in previous episodes, I get used to playing the Dervish that I'm also playing at the same time, which has a heal and self buff on button 4, and so I'm just pushing button 4 all the time. Which is wasting a damage buff. That's not the end of the world. It is still a heal for this character. Okay. This devotion shrine, I'm gonna do it just because it's a fight devotion shrine. And I like loot. So we're gonna do that. That's done. We'll go get our loot. Court of the Ancestor is okay, I guess. I'll have a closer look. I'm not going to use it, but where is it? Here we go. Devouring Swarm, Heartseeker, energy absorbed from spells. It's not awful. I'm not sure what kind of build you would use that for. Alright, coming up on the Rift Gate, we will have a fight here. So, let's get ready for that. And that's it. Easy clap. Okay, Dreadweave Girdle. Actually not bad for a Spellbreaker. Cold Spellbreaker. That's one of those builds I wanted to do for a while as well, but it's quite squishy, so... Okay, let's go stop the cult. So, in the next section, I think it's the Necropolis Interior, we have 3 wagons to kill. There is always a guaranteed, what are they called, void totems. It's always one of them. There is also a one-shot chest out here somewhere, which I will try to find. Actually, I've got the map up. Let's just have a look at the map. Where are we? Okay, Necropolis Interior. Right, so one of the potential locations for the Exalted Chest is over this way. I'm actually going to make sure I find it, since I've taken the time to open the map. Well, that was easy. Okay, well, free blue item. Empowered Enchanter's Insignia. No. That's unfortunate. That's fine. Over here, you have one of the potential locations for that totem. And then another potential location, well, 3 of them actually up the top here, which we will head to now. I'm actually going to duck down here because one of the wagons, I think, is here. And I'm wrong. But I can see that the totem is not at this location, because it would be showing up on the map by now if it was. It is just here. If it was here, it would be there. The next location it could potentially be is just here. Again, potentially, because it's not. I think I got the books from here. There's a lore node that spawns there. The next potential location is over here. This location can also have the Exalted Chest, so if you didn't find the Exalted Chest over here, then it could also be just here. And that's obviously another potential totem location, which means it is in the last location that it could be. And I can see it on the map now. Okay, Flamekeeper's Girdle I'm not even going to look at. I know I'm not interested in that. Let's go get this totem, and then I think we'll have one more blood wagon to hunt down. Alright, so this is only a Forsaken one. In theory, shouldn't be too hard. In practice, all my pets just ran away from all this. Blood of Chthon is good. Alright, everybody's dead. Decent number of blues there, actually. Let me see here. I don't see any pet affixes. We'll just pick all this up. And be on our way. So, from memory, the last wagon is kind of in the middle here. Yep, I can see it on the map there. So we will do that, we'll get the wagon, and how are we doing for time? 20 minutes, we're still good. Right, that is all of those done, and the easiest way to get to the Necropolis entry, right here, the Tomb of the Watchers, is to just take the Rift Gate. So let's go kill us a tentacle monster. As I said back in normal, you want chaos and poison resistances mostly for the Loghorrean. By this stage in the game, you should be maxed on all of your resistances all of the time with no exceptions. If you don't have max resistances, check your gear, make sure you're not using a piece of gear that's 20-30 levels out of date. This belt is pushing 20 levels. Which is not ideal, but because it has +1 to Necromancer and decent resistances, I wouldn't swap it out except for another belt with plus skills on it. Our boots are 68, so they're new. These gloves are definitely something you could consider swapping out. That prismatic shield proc, I have cap resistances without it. That proc is basically 10% physical resistance, and that's it. That proc is really nice at lower levels. For now, it's not great. So if I found some pet gloves, maybe a Taskmaster's or of the King's or something like that, I would swap those out. But make sure your resistances are capped, make sure your armor values are also decent. You want your chest and your legs at least to be pretty good. My chest is not amazing. It's okay. I wouldn't call it good though. If you're using the Bismeal chest instead of the Coven one, you will get an extra 300 armor in your chest, and that is probably the way you should go if you don't need the plus skeleton skills. And the other thing you can do if you're not feeling particularly tanky is take points out of, like, so these two skills, yeah, they're nice damage, but this is a temporary pet that actually does mostly poison and piercing damage, so you could just take the point out of that. 10% damage absorption is a big deal, but if you took the points out of that and dropped this back down to 10, you could max out Ogdrogan's Pact and these two. Just take them all to like 10 out of 10. And this is armor, so that plus armor applies to every slot you have. Its resistances, its defensive ability. This one is regen, poisons and bleeding do less duration on you, and percent health. And that's another thing you should look at as well, your defensive ability. If this is low, then you'll have, I think, 95% or potentially higher chance to be hit. And once the chance to be hit gets capped, that chance to be crit starts going up. So if you mouse over defensive ability and you have any chance at all to be crit, you need more physique, you need more defensive ability. It's not really something most people talk about or even think about until they get to max level and they're trying to min-max their gear. But that is something you... just did it again. Something you definitely need to be thinking about if you're feeling particularly squishy. I've got several messages and comments from people saying they're playing, I think it's usually the Nightblade, but they're saying they feel very squishy. It's probably one of those things. It's probably either A, your resistances are not capped, B, you're using really old gear with low armor values, or C, you have defensive ability that's low enough that you can be crit. Alright, this is another fight shrine, so we're going to just pop it. And probably shouldn't just be standing still, but there we go. It seemed to have worked. We got nothing out of that. A few iron bits and some XP. Okay, so there is one more kind of super unique in this area. I think he's going to be in here, but he's a big green poison worm. Oh, another shrine. That's nice. Oh, let's go get that shrine. That was not the area I thought it was. He's going to be just outside the door to the next area, I think. Unless there's another location he can spawn that I don't know about. You can see there, the prismatic shield. It's just a bit of fizz res. Realistically, those gloves need to be replaced. Right, let's push all the buttons. Let's put that on you. Got him. More of the beast is a shield. All of our pets are taking huge damage from garbage on the floor. Alright. Items hidden, items shown. Can't remember if it's on or off now. That's fine, we'll figure it out. Easy way to check actually. Throw it on the floor, if you can see it. Filters on. Or off rather. Alright, so our pets are still all alive. Let's kill this guy. Should melt pretty quickly. He does have a ton of health though. Herald's Jacket. That set is a good one to hang on to if you're going to level alts. Impurity, Arcane, Aether damage, Vitality damage, but it's on attack. Not an awful relic. Does have +1 to Necro on it. This Herald set is decent for leveling. It's 3 pieces. It's a helmet, a jacket, and I think an amulet. And gives good resistances and +1 to all skills if you're wearing all of it. Unfortunately, with it being a helmet, which we have the Ascendant Cowl for, and a jacket, which we have so many choices for pet stuff, and the amulet as well. We're using an MI, so not great for us. Anyway, moving on. The Seal of the Loghorrean, one of my least favorite areas in the game, just because of how winding and random and never-ending it is. One game you'll go one way and you'll be fine. The next game you'll try to go the same way and the whole area will just be cut off, and it's a bit of a mess. But we'll get through it. Let's It's not a big deal, it's just kind of slow. Alright, so I'm gonna try left side. Nope. See, I'm already backtracking. Maybe we'll hug the right side. I don't think there's a totem in this floor, but there might be. There's, regardless, not a huge amount of stuff on this floor. There's the super unique standing outside the door to the Loghorrean, and a bunch of elites are scattered around, but I don't think there's anything else that's really super interesting. We found another dead end, so I'm backtracking again. On the bright side though, there's no stairs or anything to mess with pathing, is what I was going to say there. I think we can go up this side. I hope we can go up this side. It should kind of loop back around and join the right side anyway. Yeah, here we go. You can see there the edge of madness. That's where we're trying to get to. Successfully found another dead end. Let's actually have a look at the map here. So according to the map, there is actually a potential totem in here, which would have been here. I think this probably shares spawns with the previous level though. Anyway, since we now know that there is no totems or anything like that, we can just run through here as quick as we please. As quick as our teleport gets off cooldown so we can get through doorways. Murder everything on the way if we so desire. Heretic Sigil. Nope. Alright, and here we are. So, can we see him from here? There he is, Bloodlord Thalanus. He is about to die. He should melt relatively quickly. And there he goes. Okay, going into the Loghorrean, I'm going to refresh all of the pets just so they're all full health. They will probably die in here at least a couple of times. It's not a big deal. Resistances, poison is way over cap, chaos is okay over cap, vitality is way over cap. I can't remember if he does shred resistances. If he doesn't, we're fine. If he does, we're probably still fine, honestly. I think this is about as ready as we're going to get. I don't think I need to go back to town and craft a bunch of, you know, royal jelly potions and, you know, tinctures of the untamed and all that sort of stuff. I think we are good enough that we can just go in and kill him. So with that said, let's go in and kill him. Just do keep an eye on your health bar. If you notice you're getting low, the best thing you can do is to just move, and it's probably stuff you're standing in that's doing it. Skellies are a bit low, Blightfiend is dead. You can see we're pushing his health bar decently fast. Not amazingly fast, but decently. Just gonna back off and use a potion. I think it would have been fine without, but I'm gonna use it anyway. Alright, and that's it. Loghorrean is dead. Bunch of reputation with everyone. Rotmender's hat is actually pretty good. We'll keep the MI, but that is a good hat. Elementium, not for us. The Loghorrean's corruption is a pair of shoulders. It is an MI. It's one of a few items that has physical resistance while you are leveling. It's pretty good for that reason. Not for us though. Okay, let's get out of here. How are we for time? 35 minutes. I'll probably call the episode here, although I may go and do the Strange Key quest as well, just to clear it up. Inquisitor Creed. Not him. Actually, do I need to talk to him? No, I don't want to get involved in that. Okay. So we get a purple item. This one is a medal with max LE resist on it, which is actually really nice. So at the moment, let me just clear this up. Give me quest. There we go. Alright, where'd that ring go? Or medal, sorry. Okay, so at the moment, our cap is 80%, which means for every 100 damage we take, we actually take 20 damage. If we put this on, then our max resist for elemental damage would be 83%, which means 3 less 20 is actually 15% less damage taken for elemental. So maximum resistances are incredibly strong in this game. And if you can get them, you probably want to. Why is bleeding so low? Did I not have... I don't know what's going on there. I thought that was maxed and overcap. Did we take another penalty for a quest reward or something? Maybe that's what it was. Okay. Let's just empty the inventory. All this stuff, I don't think we wanted any of it. I'll hang on to that. I'm going to blow that up. The good thing about leveling builds like this that are well built, well planned, is that all these blues and purples and stuff go firmly in the category of nice to haves. But you can get none of these drops and you'll be fine. If these pants hadn't dropped, I would just be wearing another pair of pants. There's no need to go hunting for pants. They're just nice to haves. Alright, so let's dump all this crap in here. Can't dump that, unfortunately. I'm going to hang on to this and blow it up at some point, but for right now, let's go to Burridge Outskirts. We'll go say hello to Salazar. We've got the quest to do it, so we may as well do it. Let's get our Brythorn back. And everything else looks good. I'm going to run through here pretty quickly, but there is, here it is, a crumbling wall. And you walk just around here. There'll be a bunch of cultists outside. These cultists can drop the key. You can also get the key from Dureni if you help him in Act 1. That is a guaranteed method of getting the key. So if you really, really, really want to farm Salazar for his weapon, then you really want to help Dureni and get the key, so you don't have to reset sessions, come in here, farm all this rubbish. Oops, I didn't get the key to drop, reset again. I have had a few games where I did want to get Salazar's weapon, and it took me 5 or 6 resets. Come here, clear all this, no key, reset. Come here, clear all this, no key, reset. If you want to kill Salazar, then you want to help Dureni. Save yourself the time. Alright, moving through here pretty quickly. This is considered a dangerous domain, so the monsters get a bunch of extra health and don't regenerate, so it's just more health we have to chew through. No real massive problems there. Depending on how strong you are, you can choose to basically ignore all of this. There's a door here, if you run through it, it'll close and lock everybody out. There he goes, and he did not drop his weapon. So if I was here for his weapon, I would be incredibly disappointed right now. Fortunately, I'm not here for his weapon. Alright, so we do have an Exalted Stash. This is a one-shot chest. There is the Mogdrogan's Amulet again. So that's the second time I've found that. Boots of Unseeing Swiftness are a fun item, but we'll not be using those. You don't want to go too fast on a pet build, because if you get too far in front of your pets, weird things start happening, and you don't really want the bosses and such to have the first thing they see being your face. So these ones come with plus 20% movement speed, and if you get hit, you get a minus 20% movement speed for 3 seconds. So, not a massive deal. But anyway, I'm going to call that the end of the episode. Thank you all for watching. See you in the next one, and bye for now.